What's up, guys? Spencer Harris here from Fireside Nets, brought to you by Empire Sports Media. Just wanted to give you guys some quick thoughts before the Nets take on the Golden State Warriors tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. EST on ABC. So this is a rematch from the season opener against the Warriors where the Nets destroyed Golden State 125-99. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving were both phenomenal in that game. The Nets essentially shut down Steph Curry. Kelly Oubre Jr. couldn't hit a shot to save his life. The Warriors were playing without Draymond Green, but they couldn't hit a shot. And this moment for Nets fans was 2 years in the making. From the moment we signed Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, this was what we expected. Just offensive genius on both their parts, defensive hustle, KD and Kyrie motivating the other guys. Remember, this was a season opener, so we still had Jared Allen, Karis LeVert on this team. Both those guys played pretty well in the season opener. And it's been a while since then. A lot has changed. For example, we now have James Harden on our roster. The Warriors, who many picked to finish around last place in the West with no Klay Thompson this year, they've been surprisingly good. I mean, they're 15-12 in a stacked Western Conference. Steph Curry is playing at an unbelievable pace right now. He is averaging over 35 points his last several games. He's averaging around 30 points per game for the whole season. I think 5.4 rebounds per game and 5.9 assists per game. He is, in my opinion, the MVP through 27 games. You can't give it to anybody else. You have to give it to Steph. He's been phenomenal. The Nets have had their fair share of struggles, especially this week after Kevin Durant was forced to exit the Toronto Raptors game early in the third quarter, and they lost that game. The Nets went on to lose to the 76ers and lose to the Detroit Pistons. James Harden has been a little bit inconsistent. It won't show you that in the stat line, but a lot of turnovers, a lot of momentum killers, and just not playing smart basketball. He's losing the ball off the dribble. He's making terrible passes. Hopefully the return of Kevin Durant will pick up James Harden's play. Someone who has really taken the bull by the horn since he's returned from his hiatus is Kyrie Irving. Kyrie's averaging 27 points per game this season. He had 35 against the Pacers in their win on Wednesday night. He was 17 of 17 from the free throw line. So it's good to see Kyrie being aggressive. He's attacking. He is really one of the only guys on this roster without KD who can get a shot whenever he wants, James Harden being the other guy. So I'm looking forward to the big three getting to play together again for the first time in about a week. Kevin Durant will make his return tomorrow night. He is having an incredible season. He's averaging around 30 points per game as well. He is in MVP consideration. Those two guys, LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, you can give it to any of them right now. All four are playing at such an elite level. If you're talking about the Warriors, you have to give credit where credit is due. Kelly Oubre Jr. has been playing much better than when he started the season. He's been really helping out Steph on the scoring front. Draymond Green has come back, and he's given them really solid minutes, and I think he's a reason that Steph gets all the points he gets because nobody can find Steph Curry like Draymond Green can. Where the Nets are going to have some issues is the front court, and that is because DeAndre Jordan, who is one of the most talked about Nets on Twitter, basically because he doesn't give 100% effort night in, night out. Not only did Nets fans notice that, Steve Nash, James Harden noticed it. They dug into him Tuesday night when they lost to the Pistons. Jordan came back with one of his best performances of the year against the Pacers, 12 points, 13 rebounds, had a few dunks that reminded you of his Clippers days, one where Kyrie Irving threw it up and Jordan cocked it back, and ooh, that was pretty. But we will not have DeAndre Jordan for Saturday night, which means James Wiseman, Kayvon Looney, whichever big men Golden State throws out, they're going to have their way against Jeff Green, who will probably play a lot of minutes at the 5. Norvell Pell will play some minutes at the 5, and we'll see if Steve Nash can get Noah Vonleh, who was recently acquired, into the rotation. This is going to be an offensive explosion from both teams. I don't see either of these teams scoring less than 100. I think it's a much different game than it was on opening night. I still think the Nets will win. I can see, the big three all doing their part. Kevin Durant can get 33, 35 points. Kyrie can go for around 27, 28. James Harden will have a double-double in points and assists. You'll need 15 or more points from Joe Harris. You'll need around that 12 to 16 points from Jeff Green. But you get all that works. The one thing I'd like to see Steve Nash do on defense, put Bruce Brown on Steph Curry. Bruce Brown is the best on-ball defender on this team outside of Kevin Durant. He can run Curry off the perimeter, make Curry take difficult two-point shots, get Shamet some looks. Shamet's been playing very well these last few games, and ride this momentum. You guys dominated on Wednesday night against the Pacers. That third quarter was a little bit shaky, but the Nets played great. That was the first time they had played well without Kevin Durant all week. You get Kevin Durant back, you have the big three in action, you should be able to handle your business. I see the Brooklyn Nets winning this game 132-128. Steph Curry will have a monster game for the Warriors. I think he'll go for 40 plus. But I think the Nets will do a good job in shutting the other guards in this team down. I think Wiseman and Looney will both probably be in double figures if both those guys play. But this is a big moment if you're the Nets. You're 15-12, as are the Warriors, by the way. Both teams are 15-12 entering this game. You have really struggled this past week without Kevin Durant, and you don't want to teeter around 500 if you're a championship aspiring team. You want to have a nice difference between win and losses. Now, luckily, the Sixers, who are number 1 in the East, their record's not that much better than the Nets. The Bucks are number 2. They're also not that much better than the Nets. So the Nets can make up some ground on both those teams if they win this game tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. on ABC. I'm looking forward to it. I love the idea of Kevin Durant returning to Golden State, playing his former team, the one he won 2 championships with. You know Steph and Draymond are going to be fired up for this one. And that's all I got for you guys today. So shoot your predictions in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the video. Appreciate you guys listening. Spenser Harris with Fireside Nets. As always, big thank you to Empire Sports Media. Go Nets.